Hey, what's up, everybody? Gonna do a complimentary quad, man. And this quad is featuring the music of Chicago, specifically from the album Chicago 2. So, we're gonna start with Movin' In, The Road, Poem for the People, and In the Country. So before I pop this off, man, just want to give a shout out and a thanks to Charles Hope. Charles, thank you, man. I appreciate the recommendation. And Chicago, it's always a really good thing to do some reactions to Chicago. I really dig this band. And my only regret is that I waited so long into my classic rock platform to actually start doing any Chicago. So I'm playing catch up for sure. Charles says, hi Wayne, thanks so much for the terrific reaction to my last Chicago request. I would like to request my next reaction to be the first 4 songs off of that same album. The previous request covered songs 5 through 12. Unlike those songs, these do not necessarily have to be played with no breaks. It would be fine to do it that way though, since none of these songs were big hits and they all are from the same album. Thanks again for what you're doing here. Peace. Right on. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, let's do that, man. Let's do it back to back because it gives us a little bit more space and time in the back end to do a decent album review. And with the back-to-back format, especially when there isn't a lot of song information, song details, I'm not struggling trying to look for it, you know what I mean? So, with that said, long-ass intro out of the way, a look at Chicago 2, starting with Movin' In. Let's get it. Here it is. Imagine saying like this guy.
Task is never done. You ought to know it's just begun.
concert kind of thing. And it would be a big pop. Might not have been a big hit, but in a venue like that. Okay, so this is the road.
If you'd like to get together, come right over to me. Oh, we can do anything that you'd like to do. If you'd like to give your love, then please just feel free. Because I may be gone tomorrow and not even know your name. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now please don't misunderstand my loneliness. Let's never ever talk of time. For our plans may fade away, and our hopes will say goodnight, and our friendship would be lost. It would be such a waste of life. So let's have a good thing, girl, and let's not worry. Let's do everything we want, and let's not cry when it's over. When I leave, our thing won't die. If you really understand, then come right over to me. Oh, we can play together for a while and still be free. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good song. Never heard it. And Peter Cetera, I believe it is, singing solo. Poem for the people. massively stuff now. It's just such a great part of their signature sound. Is there another band that matches Chicago with so much brass in their songs? Interweaving in their songs? Let me know. All three lead singers, they're so a part of their signature sound as well. I recognize the three voices now. I believe they were only just three lead singers in the country.
For my reasons and my ways keep on changing from day to day. As I grow, it becomes so clear
These guys had it all, didn't they? Three great lead voices.
If you have ever lived down here, then you know why I say
I do love you.
All right. That's the great Chicago, man. All throughout this quad, I'm thinking to myself, damn, you know, when you listen to this music from this era and this time period and the type of creativity that went into the music and the effort and all of that sort of thing, you say to yourself, wow, this is one artist, one group. I wish they were still around doing what they're doing, you know, the same way, you know what I mean? Some things that you just reminisce about and you just wish that it could still be the same way right now. If I had a wish, my wish would be that this lineup of Chicago would still be around, still doing it the way that they're doing it here. You know what I mean? There are some that I could kind of just let go, even though they were great back in the day or whatever the case is. They were for the time, leave them there. But there are certain acts, certain bands, certain artists that you just wish that they were still around doing it exactly like this. And for me, Chicago is one of them. With Terry Kath, with the other, all the members of this band, this lineup. I got a name drop them, man. Hang on a second. Chicago, personnel. Peter Cetera, bass. Terry Kath, guitar. Robert Lamb, keyboards. That's the guy I can never remember. He's the third lead singer. Lee Lonan, trumpet, vocals. James Pankow, trombone. Walter Parasiter, sax, flute, clarinet, vocals. Danny Seraphin, drums. That lineup. These guys, 6, 7 guys. These are the guys that I wish were still around, still together, making music just like this, not changing a damn thing. Wouldn't that be the shit if they could still be around doing it? Because I know that there are the odd great bands that are still around, you know, still together, you know. So it's just one of those great wishes of mine. But yeah, they've got it all, as I was starting to say as well. They've got great vocals, great harmony. They sing about interesting things. You know, they don't make their love songs sound sappy and, you know, corny as hell. And man, they've got great musicianship. The vocalizations, the harmonies, they got every single thing going for them that a great band has. And then when you add the brass section, it just takes them to another level, doesn't it? Plus they got the piano backing up, the sexy sax, and they got organ going on. Damn, man, these guys had everything going on for them, and they could really perform. You're seeing them do their thing live. There's a lot of energy there. It's really fantastic. All right. So now that you've determined that I'm a fan of Chicago, and another thing about this band too is that, of course, I was introduced to their 80s sound, which is great. And I know that it was led by Peter Cetera. I recognize that voice now. And then discovering that they had more of a 70s success, maybe even more successful, you know. And then with Terry Kath in their mix, I remember Color My World from when I was a kid. My dad had that in his playlist, so I was aware that Chicago had to have had a 70s past because the sound was different, the singer was different, you know. So I knew that they had a 70s career. I didn't know how big and successful it was, though. So getting into you know, the reactions and all of that sort of thing, and realizing, wow, yeah, these guys really, they were the shit back in the day. Both in the 80s when they had to kind of change their sound and be more poppy and that sort of thing, which were great songs. And but then their 70s stuff, definitely unmatched, man. So this is the time period I'm talking about. This is why I'm talking this way. Yeah, and the standout song for me was In the Country. All great songs, but In the Country definitely did it for me, man. It had a little bit of everything in it. Great grooves in it, man. And very, very good spirited delivery in their singing. So, Chicago 2. Let's do a little bit of an album overview. Chicago 2. Chicago 2 is the second studio album by Chicago-based band Chicago. Like their debut album, Chicago Transit Authority, this was a double album. It was their first album under the name Chicago. The band's prior name, Chicago Transit Authority, had to be changed due to a threatened lawsuit from the actual mass transit operator bearing the same name, and the first to use the now ubiquitous cursive Chicago logo on the cover. I always wonder about that. Did you not even stop to think that you might get a lawsuit up your ass one day? You know what I mean? Especially if you rose to prominence, you know, you gotta be thinking about shit like that. Management failed you, you know. Manager should have said, yo, you guys are gonna become noteworthy, you're gonna become notable, you've got talent, you got skills, you're gonna be big, you're gonna be huge. You gotta change your damn name now before, you know, this and this and this happens. But back in those days, you know, not everything was cohesive, not everything was tight, you know, as it is now. You gotta have all of those threads tightened up, right? Released in January of 1970 on Columbia Records, Chicago 2 was commercially successful. It was certified gold by the RIAA in April of the same year of its release and certified platinum in '91. It reached number 4 on the album charts in the US and number 6 on the album charts in the UK, and produced 3 top 10 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. The album received 3 Grammy Award nominations for Album of the Year, Contemporary Vocal Group, and Best Album Cover. It was voted Best Album of 1970 by readers of Cashbox, and 1971 Best Small Combo LP by readers of Playboy magazine. Good for Playboy, man. They really expanded their reach, didn't they? It wasn't just about the booty. It was also, they had some political influence. They had all kinds of different kinds of influences, right? So it just gives you an idea of the diversity of the editor-in-chief. He really was aware of all that was going on around him, wasn't he? All right. History. The album was released in 1970 after the band had shortened its name to from Chicago Transit Authority, following the release of their self-titled debut album the previous year in order to avoid the legal action being threatened. The official title of the album is Chicago, although it came to be known as Chicago 2, keeping in line with the succession of Roman numeral titled albums that officially began with Chicago 3 in 1971. Chicago Transit Authority was a success, yet Chicago is considered by many to be the group's breakthrough album, yielding 3 singles that made it into the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, Make Me Smile, Color My World, and 25 or 624. Chicago was released in January of 1970 on Columbia Records, and it was an instant hit, reaching number 4 on the Billboard the Billboard 200 in the US and number 6 in the UK. Columbia Records was very active in promoting its quadraphonic 4-channel surround sound format in the mid-70s, and 9 of Chicago's first 10 albums were made available in quad. The quad mix features elements not heard in the standard stereo mix, including additional guitar work from virtuoso Terry Kath in 25 or 624, and a different vocal take from Lamb in Wake Up Sunshine, which reveals a different lyric in the song's last line. Terry Kath, that is a favorite guitarist of Jimi Hendrix, I believe it is. I believe he was. In 2002, Chicago was remastered and reissued on 1 CD by Rhino Records with the single versions of Make Me Smile and 25 or 624 as bonus tracks. Rhino released a DVD audio version of the album in 2003, featuring both advanced resolution stereo and 5.1 surround sound mixes. In 2016, British producer and musician Stephen Wilson remixed Chicago from the original multi-track tapes. This version was released on January 27, 2017 by Rhino Records. A vinyl edition of the remix cut by Kevin Gray was released August 11, 2017. Robert Lamb stated in an interview that the album has been nominated for the Grammy Hall of Fame more than once. Wow. That's a great accomplishment, man, I tell you, if you do nothing else. Musical style, writing, and composition. In a 2015 article, Classic Rock Review says the album saw Chicago's full immersion into mainstream success while still building on their fusion of rock, funk, and jazz. In Danny Serafin's book Street Player, he describes it this way: in between the dates of our touring schedule, we somehow found the opportunity to jump into CBS studios in LA and record a second album in August of '69. Whereas the first record was a compilation of raw energy, we took a more controlled approach to our new effort. The centerpiece of the album was the 13-minute song cycle Ballet for a Girl in Buchanan, written by trombone player James Pankow, from which came the singles Make Me Smile and Color My World. Okay, I haven't gotten to that. Guitarist Terry Kath also participated in an extended classically styled cycle of 4 pieces, 3 of which were co-written by arranger, composer, and pianist Peter Matz. Politically outspoken keyboardist Robert Lamb expresses his qualms in It Better End Soon, another modular piece. Bassist Peter Cetera contributed his first song to Chicago with Where Do We Go From Here? Okay. Humble beginnings. The song Fancy Colors is the 13th song on the album. By no coincidence, the song concludes with 13 trumpet blasts. Okay. Yeah, and they're getting into some real details here in recording and production. Okay. We'll skip through that. Artwork and packaging, we'll skip through that. And we'll go down to critical reception. Contemporary reviews for the album were mixed. In his review for the Chicago Sun-Times, writer Al Ruda says Chicago's second album confirms that Chicago is one of the most exciting, most original, and most accomplished jazz rock groups in existence. Whereas in a review for the let's skip through this shit. Man, I'm not interested in anything this guy has to say at all. There's never anything positive coming from this guy. Yeah, let's go down to somebody who actually has a decent opinion. There have been positive retrospective reviews. Lindsay Planner from AllMusic gave the album 4.5 out of 5 stars and said its songs underscored a solid foundation of complex jazz changes with heavy electronic rock and roll that the band so brazenly forged on the first set. Jim Vivaglia, writing for American Songwriter, said, 50 years after its release, Chicago 2 still stands as one of the band's best signature achievements. Listening to Chicago 2 now, it's remarkable just how smoothly the various pieces still blend together. Right on. Fantastic, man. Yeah, like I said, you know, I wish that we still had the great musicianship, and you know, they're a good example, this lineup of Chicago, a good example of the energy of the musicality back then. And not like I said, you know, some of you old cats, damn man, you guys had it so good. Could you imagine having this lineup of Chicago, the way they play, the way they sing, the way they jam and groove and all of that stuff here with us right now, present today? I'm telling you, it would be kind of like, they would be like a magnetic force, and all eyes would be on them because everyone would be seeing them as something so unique, so rare, so cherished, you know what I mean? Whereas back in the day, you old cats had so much of this shit in force that you were just spoiled and you didn't know it. Well, maybe some of you knew it, you know, but man, to have Chicago available to us right now today, damn, you know what I'm saying? It would be something. Okay, so Antoine, Alan, I've got reactions I gotta get to for you lads, and I gotta get back to Evelyn. Damn, Evelyn, sorry, it's been over a week. I still haven't gotten back to you, man. Evelyn was saying to me that she's got a link for a Robert Plant concert during Robert Plant All By Himself bio, which a lot of you haven't seen because it's been blocked on YouTube, and fingers crossed that this won't be blocked. But Evelyn said that she's got a link, I believe, for the whole thing, or maybe a couple of links, and I still haven't gotten back to her. You know, she's really cool in the sense that she will ask me first before just bombarding me with a whole bunch of links. Some people are just not that gracious. They'll just, and they gotta curb their enthusiasm, man. They just bombard me with link after link after link after link. Constant, right? And they don't stop, they don't ask me. But Evelyn does. She'll say, hey, I don't want to be forcing all of this stuff down your throat if you are not in a place to take it all. You know, and you don't have to do it right away. You know, you can put me in queue. I don't want to be jumping in front of anybody or causing you all kinds of administrative, you know, so she's really, really considerate. So she will ask me, are you ready for this? Are you, you know, so, but I'll get back to her. So if you're watching this, Evelyn, yes, I'm ready. Send the shit, send it all. But thank you for the consideration though. Some patrons, even patrons who have been with me a long ass time from the beginning, still, they know that they should only send me one recommendation at a time, but they're still bombarding me with a whole bunch of shit, right? And if I don't get to them, they'll bug me. Oh, yeah, you didn't do this. I didn't get a thumbs up about this. You didn't, so, you know what I mean? So it gets lost and they're still not listening to what I'm asking. One reaction request at a time. Once I've posted it, published it, then send me something else. Don't bombard me with a whole bunch of links, right? The other day I was saying that the record per week at one point in time, I received 3,000 links. 3,000 in 1 week, right? And a lot of that, multiple links and recommendations were sent to me by patrons, right? So patrons, please, man, you know, this is why sometimes things get lost in the cracks. And the people who are actually doing it right, sometimes I lose their shit and it's not right to them. So I'm going to ask you again. You're adults and you have a mind to comprehend what I'm saying. I know you do. Listen to me again. Do not send me multiple links, recommendations, whatever the case may be. Thank you very much for your enthusiasm, but you got to curb it for me because it's just too much, right? So you've got to only send me one at a time. All right, do that for me and you'll make Wayne a very happy guy. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to one day just check out of Patreon and then it's going to be ruined for everybody. So patrons, there's a number of you doing this shit. Send me one at a time, okay? I think I'll make an official announcement just specifically to patrons so that everybody gets it. Not everyone's going to watch this reaction, but I'm starting to see an increase of that. They forget after a while, right? So I got to remind them. Not all, but there are some. All right. Now, with that said, to end on a positive note, back to Charles. Charles, thank you. And, oh, Charles is a victim of this. This is late. Charles submitted this to me since November, man, and it fell through the cracks. Why? Because of all kinds of silly things. But Charles, thank you very much. He sent me a nice, gracious little reminder, and I'm like, Charles, thank you very much. I appreciate the reminder. Yes, it did fall through the cracks. So apologies to you for that, Charles. That's the shit that's going on with me, right? So, yeah, just as an example. So he was been patiently waiting. So as a result of that, Charles, what I'll do is you send me your next recommendation, and I'll do the reaction in half the time. You know what I mean? Value for value exchange. And then on top of that, in the next day or so, I've got a reaction for you on the Beyond platform. So that is where we're at. So anyway, man, thank you for recommending this. Always a great time to check out some Chicago. And I look forward to your next recommendation. Anyway, guys, take care. Have a good one. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.